Hey everybody, you're watching the AFTERBUZZ TV after show for The Girlfriend Experience Season 1, Episodes 11 and 12. We're going to be breaking down the episodes and sharing our thoughts and predictions. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Just a moment for this song real quick.
Definitely setting the tone for these episodes.
Oh yes, so tonight people, we are going to be discussing episodes 11 and 12, of course, called Fabrication and Home. I'm your host, Samantha Benitz. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz. And of course, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Rhavin McSweaney.
Whoa. Hey, it's Rhavin with the V here. Haven't been here in a little bit, so I'm glad to be back. You can follow me at BStaysBusy, B-I-Z-Z-Y, everywhere.
So we're so glad to have you back in studio with us.
Oh, and shout out to our other Sam.
Yes.
We don't have our Sam sandwich. She
Our
is recovering
Sam
from foot surgery. Too much twerking.
That's no.
We
Too
miss
much
you.
girlfriend experience. Exactly. Well, we miss you, Sam D, and we'll be Sam Squared hopefully real soon here again. So, Rhavin, what did you think about episodes 11 and 12 real quickly before we go back into a recap?
As this intro song came in, she just had a I don't give a F type of attitude, no shits given. And she kept her face super stone. Her attitude was very, I thought she was going to feel a little bad. Maybe, the people that the video was sent to, maybe an apology that they had to see it. No, she stood her ground like,
She
I wasn't
really
thinking about you when it was going on. So.
Yeah, hence why we had to choose this song. I mean, it's too fitting after
She's
these
gotten
episodes.
very, very confident, and she does not care.
Yeah, she is so bold. The more I'm watching her character, I'm like, man, if this was me in this scenario, I would have broken a long time ago. I'd be so vulnerable and just feeling like overexposed and stressed out, and she's just
taking Brazen to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And I'm nervous.
She keeps it moving. I'm like, all right, girl, like, you really just keep it rolling and don't worry about any of the problems. And she's always looking for a way to capitalize on them.
Answers. Exactly. She keeps finding new ways, and she just doesn't break. Even when she's breaking, she's really just transforming into something harder. So
it is so true. So we're watching this, and of course, we want to give you a little recap of episodes 9 and 10 in case you haven't caught up to speed. So, of course, Christine's worlds collide when her sex tape is sent to every person on her email contact list, which that's pretty rough right there.
That's a lot of people.
And me and Sam were debating last week whether or not she sent out the tape to kind of, initiate some type of settlement or just kind of use this in a positive way. But it seems like somebody else may have sent it based on what she says.
Right. I mean, I would have assumed it was him just from the beginning, Jack. Mm-hmm. Only because he's the one who figured out what she was doing, where she worked. He was also able to figure out her government name.
Yep.
That didn't come from her at all.
Right.
He did that all on his own. So that was my first thought, that it was him from the beginning, because he was already salty that she was over it and over him.
That's so true. He seems very bitter, clearly, and he's got away with spying. He seems like he's no rookie in that regard. So
right. What do we call him? Stage 5 clinger?
Yeah.
Should have said stage 5 creeper.
Yeah. So, of course, after her sex tape is sent out, it's no longer a secret, and now she had to figure out a way to come out on top. Literally and metaphorically. But of course, after her humiliating experience at Kirkland and having a very public panic attack, which I don't know if you guys caught at the end of that episode, it felt super real. You could just see her world caving in as she's looking at all of these faces kind of staring at her and
right
judging.
Back at her.
Yeah, clearly judging her actions, but I feel like she even felt it more because it was almost a look of pity, like, oh, I wish that wouldn't have happened to me, rather than even a look of anger or disappointment. Like, it was really particular, the way they were looking.
Exactly, and I feel like that panic attack was almost an out-of-body experience for her, too. Like, she almost was one of the people that was looking at her, too.
Woof, exactly.
You know? Like, it was that deep.
Yeah, it was from both regards. It was like an inner and outer body experience. I totally agree. And after that experience, obviously, she embraces her career as a call girl, becoming even more secure with her choices. You know, she mentions at the end of episode 10 that she's been in the industry for 8 to 9 months. She wants to expand her client list, and she's working with other call girls now. So she's definitely, you know, finding connections to network her new career.
Her business is booming.
It certainly is. So it opens up today with episode 11. We see that David gets fired because of the sex tape. I mean, how are you going to avoid that? It's very incriminating. Unfortunately, I feel like they didn't know it was him at first, and I think he was going to get away with it.
But until she said something.
Exactly. And she decided she was going to take matters into her own hands.
So it wouldn't just be her by herself.
Exactly. Going down. She's not going down alone. And that's
actually, I don't mind that standpoint.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, because they didn't know it was him. He was just going to be like,
he was just going to push her off to the side. And that's why I feel like she
had already pushed her off to the side. Yeah. So he had already been pissing her off little by little, you know? So,
and you don't mess with Christine, clearly.
So I think that was bound to happen, especially if he was going to have a night. If he was going to get away with it, there's no way she was going to let that happen.
And it's crazy because they mentioned that he has this, you know, crazy career. He's been working there for 15 years. And he probably took this one chance. He's probably never slept with an intern before. As far as the way I perceived him, he may have. Maybe I'm seeing him too.
So?
Yeah, for some reason.
You pegged him so innocent.
I know. Maybe he's a lot more guilty than I'm seeing him. I just do feel like now that he's having all these marital troubles, that now he's kind of being more, you know, action-driven by his desires and thought-driven. Do you think he's been doing this for a long time?
I think he's been... Yeah.
You think he's been cheating?
I think, yes, most definitely. I think he's been doing it for a little minute. Maybe not the entirety of his marriage, but it's obviously nothing new. Mm-hmm. And to say if he's been having sex with interns before, I mean, he's been having sex outside of his marriage, period, point blank.
That could be true.
You know, I think, especially his wife, as we see, and she's like, I can't do it.
Oh boy, that was a pivotal scene.
Is you
with other girls,
right? So she's been dealing with that for how many years? We don't even know. But
you're right. She did say girls in plural.
There's so many times until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and that for sure was a telltale sign that that was not his first nor second, maybe not even his third rodeo. And you know, maybe it wasn't recorded back in the day, but he messed around and.
You're right. Maybe this was a crazy act of karma after all these girls, potentially. So what do you guys think at home?
He had a separate apartment.
That's a good, that's a very good point. You don't get that
just to get time away from the family. You get that to have time away from the family and your other friends over.
I
with
totally
no consequences.
Agree. Yeah.
And they were sharing it, him and his friend, who was the opposing side of the case.
Oh,
so
boy,
he was probably using it too. I don't trust him.
Everything's going all crazy in these episodes, and clearly Christine's not afraid to capitalize on this opportunity. She decides to lawyer up and basically shows the video to higher-ups, to prosecutors, and you can just see the looks on their faces like, ooh, this is not a good look, A, for the company, B, for the girl, and C, of course, for David. And even his boss addresses to him, your career is over. Like, I don't know if there is bouncing back from that, but we've seen in, you know, reality where people do bounce back after cheating scandals. But the problem is this guy is mixing business with pleasure in this very company. So coming back to this company, I think is a definite no-go. And that's why he's already out exploring other options.
There's few years that need to go by for that to kind of, for the dust to settle on that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's a tricky one, especially if she's making herself the victim now.
Oof. And she is definitely, you know, thinking big, because the term
of course she does.
The term they use is, okay, we'll give you a gag clause settlement. If we give you $1 million, you must be quiet. And that's kind of the agreement they were discussing in episode 11. So what do you think about that? $1 million. So that to me was,
that.
Woo.
Because gag, meaning quiet.
Right.
Meaning
you can't tell anybody about this experience.
Would he bounce back from that? Does
He
that help
probably
him in that
wouldn't.
situation?
It would probably just help the company, I'm guessing. They don't
they
want it
won't
to
be
be known.
attached to that.
Exactly, the name of the man who had this incident.
I mean, I would take it. She's obviously not going to get the money.
From the other settlement, Michael.
Yeah, Michael. She's obviously not going to get that. I mean, if she's a businesswoman, she's about her money, she's about the coin.
Yep.
Then I would totally take that.
I know, that's a big dollar amount. And all I was thinking was, wow, either this worked out in her favor in some,
She's
unpredictable
really
way.
Smart.
Yeah, and that's why I almost thought it was her with the tape, because I'm like, this is just falling into place rather nicely. I mean, not to say that that wouldn't be a complete and utter embarrassment, and you'd probably rather have your reputation back versus $1 million.
Right.
But then again, she doesn't seem to mind.
She was so studied on the case at hand, remember?
Right,
Like, I feel like she was preoccupied with that. I don't know if she would have been on that and then decided, let me sneak this sex tape. Like, I really don't feel like she did it.
Exactly, yeah.
Because she already had a plan.
Okay.
She was already working towards something.
Yeah,
Which
that she
I was
didn't need this
annoyed.
side
I
plot.
was so annoyed with it. I was just like, get out of that before you get in trouble. And then that happened in the background. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like she.
Like,
unless
she wanted to
was just
utilize
all
both.
hot mess city and decided like, F it, I'm just gonna pull from all these
different funds, right?
I don't know.
I know. I just wonder if it was kind of the threatening attitude she received from David that made her feel that way. So she kind of reacted, and additionally having this video sent out, and immediately he accused her of sending it because it came from her email.
It came from her email. There's no way in hell that someone would think that otherwise. I mean, have our AfterBuzzers been chiming in while we're live and telling us like their thoughts?
I would love it if they are. We can pull up the live chat, and in a second we'll see if anybody's bringing up any good points that we're missing. And of course, we'll move on to the sex scene between David and his wife. It starts out real sweet and loving, and I'm like, wow, either she doesn't know about the tape.
I was wondering if she knew.
Yeah.
Does she still not know? Because I still don't.
That was a question of mine, is did she know about the tape and the comment about the other girls, mentioning that she can't basically
I definitely
with him
think
'cause she
the
thinks
comment
of
of the
others.
other girls is just what they've been going through in past seasons, obviously marital problems. But nothing stood out that let us know she knew about the current situation. And which is weird because it was all over the social media, right?
Right. Exactly.
He has sons
Even
that
on a
are old
newspaper.
enough
Yeah.
to know or to, it's weird. Why would you take him back after that?
Exactly.
She doesn't seem the type of woman to do that.
No. Yeah, and I feel like she was already at her wit's end. You could tell their tension was at like the boiling point already.
There was a second chance or soft heart or there's no way she can't know, is there?
I know. Okay, I want to believe
think about
she knows.
it. Think about it. Say you're her.
Yeah, I would
And
not
the
be
moment
cool.
I'm on my phone, Sam, girl, did you see your husband with this chick? She was in your house. Didn't I see her the other day at the party?
Yeah.
I would have
Don't
already
you
been on
work
it.
with her?
I would have been on it. Like, how could she not know?
Exactly. You bring a very good point up. It was already on the news media. There's little way or little possibility of her not knowing. And even if she did, I could see her only reason keeping together with David is the family, the fact that they have kids. So that may be her
And it also
incentive.
depends on what he told her.
Right. Oh, yeah. She
'Cause he
suckered
can play
me
the
into
victim.
it.
He can play the victim as well, and she could feel bad for him. He lost his job, all these different things. I'll be his
point.
backbone for now. Mm-hmm. She might be trying to get something out of it, too.
And, of course, he keeps trying to, play face, and he's saying,
Play face.
yeah,
for
right?
sure.
And he's just like, I'm happy. I'm really happy.
Like, stop. You don't have to say that because I let you back in the house.
Yeah.
That's basically what she's saying. Like,
Exactly. Save face is the term. I was thinking play face. I'm like, wait a minute.
but I liked it.
Yeah, right? It's
I
a new-
enjoyed
it's
play
new-
face.
Yeah.
He
I
was
like
playing
how you
face.
went
I was
with it. I was
right?
like...
He was playing face.
Hashtag play face. All right, people. And of course, so David is enraged probably after this sexual experience with his wife, where I feel like she's kind of been his security blanket all this time. And then he decides, I need to go meet up with Christine. Christine, let's meet up. Let's talk. I really need to tell you something in person. And she, of course, is just her usual, like, monotone, like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'll see you there. Exactly. So
We gotta get our Christine face on.
no smiling and just monotoned and very focused. And of course, he calls her or with a W in the beginning. I don't know if we can say that, but
Yeah, we can totally say whore.
There we go.
This is one of those shows.
I mean, it is kind of
We
late
seeing
night.
tits and booty cracks and
Allow it. Okay, so let's break it down for you. He calls her a whore, and she does not take that kindly. She spills water on him, doesn't she? Just, and to me, the whole scene just blew me away because I feel like he was kind of begging her in a hidden way to stop what she's doing. You know, stop ruining my reputation. Look at what you've done to me. Like, he's just
he tried
furious.
to use reverse psychology, and that did not work.
That did not work. And she's like, oh, by the way, you know, I realized that because I was the intern, you were just going to cast me aside. But I decided to flip the tables and give you a taste of your own medicine. And the fact that she does that was like the boldest move. And she just walks out of there and he just has this face of, uh-oh.
Shit has hit the fan.
Yeah, it definitely does. And of course, so as we move on into episode 12, we see that Christine's family has also received the tape and they're not too happy about it either. Obviously, what family would love to see their
As her
close
sister said it,
person?
you forced your parents to watch you being rammed.
Yes.
Something she said like that.
Yeah,
and then
she didn't put it
laughed.
politely.
She laughed though. Like,
Yeah.
she does not care.
Yeah, and all I'm thinking is, wow, she does not
I would be
mind.
in tears if my parents, like, I would be in tears.
I know, and I'd
I
be
would feel like
humiliated.
a failure. I would feel like I disappointed them. I would never want them to find out.
Right, and I
anything
would have
like
probably
that.
called ahead of time. By the way, there's a video going out. If you haven't checked your email, please don't. It's extremely embarrassing, and I really don't want you to see it.
I know. And instead, she just went incognito.
Yeah, she just
For weeks.
stops answering her calls. You know, they had plans to meet up for her parents' anniversary, and you can tell that her family is very close-knit, and they're all kind of similar. And she's kind of the outcast of her family in that regard. Is she doesn't really care. She kind of does her own thing and doesn't really want the input of others. She just kind of does her own thing and lets her freak flag fly.
What did you think about her speech at the end when she said, I am who I am because of you?
Oof, I felt like that was a diss. I'm glad you mentioned
Where the
that
hell
line.
was she? What's she talking about?
Yeah, and I'm like, this is their
You
anniversary
didn't come
dinner.
from a broken home.
Yeah.
Your parents are still together.
That
What
was
it,
insulting.
30 years later?
Yeah.
30 years. Okay, so what are you talking about?
Yeah, you have a loving family who calls you time and time again. I actually felt the exact same. I was like, that was such a sweet speech. I was literally
I
loving
think we
it.
were
And then the
all
end.
watching her like her sister, like, don't, you better not say nothing stupid. You know, I was like, where's she going? Where's she going with this?
Yeah, you always got the family member that will be the one you're like, okay, hopefully they'll stop, or I'm going to have to stop them on the track
But you
they're
could
on.
see that she was hanging on to that mic even
Yep.
at the end. And I was like, she's about to say
Yeah,
something
and by
else.
the way, yeah.
I am who I am because of you. Like, what?
Yeah.
Have they done anything wrong to you?
And we haven't seen that in the entire series, really. Have we? Maybe I'm being
No.
naive.
No, unless there's some underlying issues that they've yet to reveal.
Okay. Yeah, and we're going to have to hope for that in the finale because clearly to me, there's no family issues as far as their dynamic. They didn't really seem to have an impoverished lifestyle. Like, they seem to be doing all right.
I mean, that is the beauty of this in a sense anyway, because normally they like to show people that are like prostituting or doing call girl escort things that have daddy issues or broken families. So I do appreciate that. Like, you're all good.
Right.
But why? Don't come for your parents. Don't
Yeah.
come for your parents.
And she does address that they did have like a little bit of, you know, less money basically when they were growing up, but it doesn't seem like she really went without entirely. And the bigger point is she had that love from her family.
It still wasn't broken. You know,
Yeah.
they made ways around it, but
Exactly.
we need to get back to that. Something's going to bring us back to that statement
Yeah.
in the next episode, I'm sure.
Oh, and of course, and even when the sister asks, like, what is up with you? And then she responds, I like it. You know, the reason why I do what I do is because I like it, damn it.
She couldn't say anything, though. It was funny, and they zoomed. They put her sister's face in focus after that, and she was just like, well, damn, she told me.
Yeah, she's like, well,
nothing
what do you
else I
say to
can
that?
It was honest. It was an honest answer, and that's one thing we can always expect with Christine.
Yeah, and
Honesty.
her honesty certainly doesn't suit her mother. You could tell her mom was so disappointed. Even that little conversation they have in the kitchen, and they both can't sleep, and you can
I just
see
feel
the
it could
tension.
have been handled differently.
Mm-hmm.
She could have handled it differently. She could have made things a little better by reaching out to her parents,
Mm-hmm.
reaching out to the ones that love you.
Exactly, and
just
they can
letting them
talk
know.
you through it. Yeah, I feel like she doesn't want to talk to them at this point because she's thinking, this is my lifestyle. They're not going to accept it, so might as well do me and catch you later.
Yeah, I think she went about that all wrong.
I totally agree. And of course, so because of their little fight, Christine decides that she wants to leave early, and her dad, her sweet dad, you can tell is just like, doesn't know what to do. His little girl's going through this stage.
There's
like,
some video there. That was so awkward.
that impression was on point. Yeah.
Okay, Dad, let's have the conversation.
Yeah, and I like how she says that it was the jealous ex-boyfriend. I didn't release it, Dad. And you can just see he's like, my daughter got blackmailed.
Want me to break his legs?
Yeah, want me to break his legs. Like the sweetest daddy thing to offer to do, even though don't do it, Daddy. But, it's funny that the dad is trying so hard to still understand and have a relationship with his daughter, because I feel like he sees how distant and cold she can be, and he does fear that if he also just stands his ground, that he's not going to have
She'll drift further and further away.
Exactly.
Even though I do feel that it was a game of telephone once he got back home, because I think he relayed that message all wrong to her mom, and he was like, her ex-boyfriend videotaped them.
Yeah.
He said the boyfriend videotaped it. Not released it. He didn't say what she said to him. He said it differently to the mom.
Yeah.
Like, why would he be there recording her having sex with another guy? Or it made it seem like he was sneaking, recording them.
Right. Like, it kind of put the blame on him that he taped it and kind of released it via her email, potentially, to all of her friends, family, and colleagues, which... That's cold.
My mom's like, don't be naive. And I'm like, he said it wrong. That's not what he meant. That, yes, maybe she recorded it. Like, it was her personal moment. But that jealous ex-boyfriend found it and then decided to. I wish he would have said that differently.
Yeah. Share it with everybody she's ever crossed paths with. So he didn't go easy on her at all. And, of course, the mom says she's always been selfish. She wants the attention. And she doesn't care how it affects us. And I can almost see where the mother's coming from, just from the storyline that we've seen in the show. We don't really see her caring for others. Even when I feel like she was handed a baby at the party, she was kind of like, ugh.
She tried to walk away with it, like, okay, I'll try it. Like, it's crying. Okay, no, take it back.
Right.
The way she was holding the baby, I don't want to say it, but the way she was holding the baby was just really...
Yeah, she's very uncomfortable with it. You can tell she's just not in that motherly vibe of her life at all right now. She's exploring her sexuality, femininity, and, like, options.
And nothing's wrong with that.
No.
It's just how you handle it when it comes to your family, at least.
Right, exactly.
At least.
Because they want to see you in the best light, and it's hard for them to watch you go through something and feel like they don't have a way to connect with you anymore. And that's kind of what I feel like is happening with their family. And now that they're going to be split up, clearly, and she's going to go back to do her own thing, I feel like Christine's going to even become more bodacious about her decisions and choices.
Yeah. It's going to get even crazier. I can feel it.
I can, too.
And as she's sitting at the airport, and then she's getting those looks from some of the gentlemen in suits.
Exactly.
Who could very well be tied to the, the law world. Mm-hmm. Who can very well be like, that's her.
Right, and Simon Bircher may not be entirely out of the scene yet because we were introduced to him the last few episodes, and he was kind of a private investigator checking out her case because of the settlement of $500,000 she was going to get from an ex-client, Michael. So he may come back into play for the finale, and I thought the way they closed out episode 12 was super interesting because they're showing her with the photographer doing another lingerie shoot like she loves to do.
She's literally sitting there at the airport looking for her next gig.
Yes,
basically. As she's getting looks, she's like, yeah, I'm about this life.
Yeah, no shame in her game. She really is. She just keeps moving forward. And the interesting part is, she does all this posing, and she's very provocative, and she's very comfortable in her body, clearly. And the photographer seems to have a good reputation because she mentions, like, oh, yeah, you work with a bunch of good people. Like, I found your site through good reviews, something along those lines, right? And he asks her, does this ever make you scared? And she answers, no.
In true Christine fashion.
Yeah.
She's not afraid.
No.
She's not afraid. I think that should be another song on the intro list. Like, I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. She really is
Maybe
not
next
afraid.
week. I know. Probably with the finale, I'm not going to be surprised if they take it to the next level. And it seemed to me, we saw in the preview, that she kind of seems like law school may be out of the picture.
Completely.
Yeah. After all this work, it kind of blows my mind that she found another industry that took her away from her studies. And she's super smart. So usually it can be the opposite way, where you're really excelled at this like party life, and then you're introduced to your studies, and then you're kind of like, oh, okay, now I'll try to like calm down. I feel like it's the opposite. She's been held back and she needs to be set free.
She's having too much fun.
Yeah.
Making too much money. Like, as her dad tried to hand her some money for her exchange ticket and some food, and she's like, I don't need it. She really doesn't need it.
She doesn't. And of course, there's a few crazy, intense role play scenes in all of these episodes. So what do you think about the way they capture this, and how brave she must be to even have accepted this character? Because they're not, hiding away from anything. There's no censor bars. It's a full show.
It's a full show, and I'm pretty sure Riley thought very long and hard about this and did some research. And like I was saying earlier, the difference with this interpretation of this lifestyle is that we see a young lady who is smart, who's got everything ahead of her.
Right.
Amazing family.
Yeah.
Comes from a great home, values.
Yep.
Not broken, so I like that aspect of it because I can't feel bad for her.
Yeah, it's a new way to show this story. She's no longer a victim.
Pulling up her bootstraps, tying them tight, and this is what she wants to do. And it's almost like a Beyonce movement. Like, she's just doing her own thing. She doesn't need anybody for anything.
Miss Independent.
I can't be mad at it.
Yeah. That's almost the part of the show I find so intriguing, is I never really look at her and say like, oh, poor thing. I'm like, nah, she's
I almost get nervous. I'm like, ooh, slow down.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, she
really does seem fearless. So clearly this show is already a big hit. It's the second highest rated series on the STARZ network, and it's trailing right behind Outlander. And as of now, there have been no statements regarding the future of the Girlfriend Experience, but of course we have a great finale to look forward to next week, so we'll definitely keep you posted.
I'm pretty sure another season is going to be in the works. It has to be. It has to be. This has been good.
I know. I'm really hoping so. So before we move on, let's get into a little news and gossip.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
All right. So, our first picture we're going to show you, Riley recently visited the set of Jimmy Kimmel's late night live show. And we love Jimmy Kimmel. He is a hot mess in a glass. So she was on there to talk about her new role. And we have a few little quotes from the show and why she likes it, how she decided to, I guess, take on the role. So she goes on to say, it's about high-class escort. It's kind of like a therapist. It's a great job, as she laughed. We wanted to show a woman wanting to do this. See, this is what I was saying earlier.
Exactly.
Wanting to do this, not coming from an oppressed background. I was really interested in the emotional sides of things, like if they ever have feelings for their clients. I'm pretty used to sex scenes now. They're no different than dinner. Which Jimmy Kimmel replied, I'm guessing you're not a vegan.
Of course.
Hashtag she likes meat. Yes. Yes, she loves the meat, which we can see every week on Sundays. This next one we have over the weekend was the premiere of Riley's new flick titled American Honey. It was held during the 2016 Cannes Film Festival. That was Sunday, May 15th in France. And she was joined on the red carpet by her co-stars, Shia LaBeouf and Sasha Lane, which she's hugging in this picture.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool
I'm
that they
actually
went.
interested in seeing this.
Yeah, I know. I do want to see this movie, and I always feel like Shia LaBeouf is such an interesting actor. He chooses very unique and I feel like elevated roles. Like, he's not going to go for something really simple. He started out in Even Stevens, and now I'm like Transformers onto like that Nympho movie I've seen with him. So I'm like, okay. And she did the Girlfriend Experience. So
I have to follow her.
Yeah.
We have to follow and see what she's doing because I need to see her doing other characters because I feel like she's so perfect for this one.
Exactly. It's going to be hard to see her in a new role, but we're going to like it. I bet she's going to blow our minds in that regard.
I agree.
And of course, we're going to include a little fun fact. So Steven Soderbergh, the writer of the Girlfriend series, which obviously was a movie before as well, he worked with Riley previously for her cameo appearance in Magic Mike, which I don't know if you guys did see that, but I heard that in the Jimmy Kimmel
The latest
show.
one?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was XXL or
Okay.
if it, I'm
watched
guessing
both,
it was.
I watched XXL too, but I don't know. There was so much going on in that
I
movie.
know. It's very
couldn't-
captivating. She said she only had a few scenes in there, but I thought that's kind of
I'm
cool.
going to watch it again now because I'm going to look for her.
Yeah, and he was asking, oh, did he basically cast you because he saw you in Magic Mike and thought you would be a good fit? And she was like, well, we just met. And like later down the line, he kind of approached me and figured probably after some brainstorming
That's still
and
like
some thinking.
apples and oranges though, because
Yeah.
Magic Mike is still very funny and, it's not dark.
Exactly.
So I think that's still an awesome combination that if he did cast her for the Girlfriend Experience just based off of that, he was able to see way beyond what she was able to even show.
Oh, very true. So, of course, we're going to see a lot in the next final episode. So do you have any predictions for the final episode,
Now,
13?
your AFTERBUZZ TV.
Lucky number 13.
Actually, number 13, or unlucky, however you look at it,
you're
depending
so
on the
right.
day. I think there is a little more to be revealed in regards to David's marriage and the setup that he has right now. And I feel like something's going to backfire with Christine. I feel something boiling. Even though every time something bad happens, she covers it up, she patches it up, everything bad, patch. I feel like something from the bottom is going to shake this foundation a little.
Right, like a good
I
old
do.
earthquake.
Yes, and I'm not sure. I don't know if it's going to be, was it Emery? What's her name?
Emery?
Avery.
Oh, Avery, the beginning girl, yes.
I don't know if it's going to be Avery or Jack, or I think something is going to shake up this whole situation.
Ooh, I totally agree. I
I just
like
feel
that
it, and it's
perspective.
weird.
Yeah. Okay. So to piggyback off of that, I'm guessing that they're obviously going to have her quit law school entirely. So that means she's going to be fully focused on her Girlfriend
so
Experience
scary.
clientele. And I'm almost thinking she might call Jacqueline just to get a little
I'm
assistance.
surprised she still hasn't.
Yeah, I know.
I've been waiting for her to.
I have been waiting too, and some part of me also feels like Jacqueline may have something to do with something, but I don't know. Maybe I just remembered her name and now I'm thinking.
I just don't want to peg her like that. I think
Yeah.
she's about her business. And
Yeah, she doesn't seem catty in that regard, and she seems about her money. So unless this was going to be putting dough in her pocket, then she's not going to waste her time.
I don't know. That's a good one though.
We'll
We got to see where
see.
Jacqueline is.
Yeah, and we'll see. And bigger point, I bet Jack, of course, is going to be the man behind the video. Now that everybody keeps addressing, I really did think it was Christine for a little, not to be mean, but I just feel like, man, she's so good at figuring it out. It's like the world is her chess game, and she can just win every time. So I'm impressed.
I feel that she's better at cleaning up the drama or finishing the drama. I don't see her starting it, even though when she was snooping around in that case, that was bothering me.
Right.
Because it seemed like she was trying to start some drama for that situation. But for the most part, outside of that, she's always finishing it. She won't start it.
Yep.
But we'll see.
That's a good point. She doesn't really start it. So it's got to be something to do with Jack. And then also I think David, his marriage is going to be dwindling here, and clearly his career too. Because once his wife finds out, if she doesn't know yet.
And we did not even address how after he's like, I'm happy and everything, and went to another room to watch the damn video.
Okay,
We didn't even address that.
We got to address that because that was weird. And was
I was
he?
like, what the hell? I didn't know if he was.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Sorry, I probably shouldn't do that, but I don't know if he was playing with himself watching it. But what is there to reminisce?
Yeah, exactly.
He's
I was
got
like,
problems.
he's got issues
You're happy to
going
be back
on.
with your family, and you said you're going to prove it to your wife and everything, and then you
I'm
go
happy,
back to
I'm
watch the
happy.
video that put you in this situation.
Exactly. That was the bizarre
I meant to bring that up earlier, my bad, but I was
No,
like,
I love that you remembered that. That was a really big point in the episode because all I was thinking
it was a
is,
long
like,
scene.
Yeah. I'm like, oh boy,
We
they're
got to watch it
definitely
over and over too.
Yeah, and the fact that they're all doing this over the computer is kind of, dangerous in some regards.
Was he at home?
He seems to be at home, and it's like, okay,
I felt like
he's
his wife was gonna walk in on him.
Exactly, and then what are you going to say then? You're already in the doghouse, and
Just
then
get
you're going to
out.
have the audacity, like,
Dump you.
go in the car on your phone and watch it. Like,
The
come on.
bathroom.
Yeah. anywhere else.
And
Which
the
don't
sound,
watch
the
it at
volume
all.
was up, okay? Okay, sorry. But yeah.
Yeah, we
Think
feel
about
some
that,
type of way
AfterBuzzers.
about this. Yeah, we've definitely seen it all.
Definitely
so
tell us your thoughts too.
Please
our
do.
AfterBuzzers.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's pretty much a wrap for this week. We're definitely going to be back, same place, same time next week. And we're going to be discussing the finale, episode 13. And also be sure to check us out on AfterBuzzTV.com, iTunes, and YouTube. Leave us a 5-star rating or a thumbs up if you like. And we'll see you guys next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only, do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.